Hey there, now we are going to do a little bit of transformation. We need to know what is transformation, right? Transformation means what? Transform to a new figure, right? This transformation can happen in various forms. We'll do that in short, but we'll understand the concept very properly, right? So there can be four kinds of transformation. What do we mean by transformation? Which means changing the dynamics of the object which we are referring to as. How can we change the dynamics of that object? What can we do to change the dynamics of that particular object? The first is, this is known as translation. This is also kind of transformation. So I am making aware of the kinds of transformation through figures. So this is an object, and if it transforms, or if it moves by a certain distance, the whole object moves by a certain distance. This on the right hand side, this point moves here, this B point moves to say D, right? A moves to E, and C moves to say F. That means the figure object has moved to ABC, has moved to EDF by a distance this much, BD or FC or AE. All these distances are equal. Then we call this as a translation. Okay. The next is reflection. So what do we mean by reflection? Now this is very easy to understand. So if you stand in front of a mirror, right, whatever to the before, I mean, whatever here, this is the object and this is the image. So image formed by the mirror is the same size as the object. Okay, but not of this now this is not translation. Every point has the distance, every point of the object is at the same distance from the mirror as every point on the image. So we can say A, B, C, and say D, E, F being the image formed here. So the distance of A from the mirror is AD. When I say distance, I mean perpendicular distance. So it is AX and DX. So AX must be equal to DX, right? If I drop a perpendicular from B here to here, and if I drop the perpendicular E to this mirror, so this is say BY. If these perpendiculars meet here at Y, we can say BY is equal to EY. And by the same logic, say CZ is equal to FZ. If that be the case, when the object and the image formed is at the same distance from a particular line, that line acts as an imaginary mirror, then we call this concept as reflection. The third is rotation. Okay, so if I tell you that you are standing at a particular place and you turn around by a certain angle, then in effect, I'm telling you to rotate through a certain angle. So if you are standing here and facing north direction, and if I tell you to turn to east direction, so every bit of yours, every part of yours, right from your head to your toe, turns around by 90 degrees or 1/4 of a full turn. So when I tell you to turn, then it becomes a rotation. So every bit, every part of this ABC figure turns through a certain angle. So when I talk of rotation, it becomes, the concept is angle. So it turns through a certain angle by say alpha, then we can say it is the concept of rotation is developed. Okay. So this is what is meant by rotation, which means A turns to say D, right? B turns to E, and C turns to F by the same angle, and that angle is say alpha. If that happens, then we call the concept to be a rotation. Not the concept, but a transformation to be rotation, right? So three kinds of translation, transformation, which is translation, reflection, and rotation. The fourth kind is enlargement. So what do we mean by enlargement? So if the figure, every bit of figure grows by a particular ratio, right? By 2 times or 3 times, then we call this as enlargement, which means suppose if this figure A, B, C, D becomes say E, F, G, H, grows by twice, then we can say every bit, so every side of this has a ratio of 2:1. So EH by AD is 2:1. We can say EH is equal, EH ratio AD is equal to 2:1 because this has grown by two times. If that be the case, then the transformation is known as enlargement. So these are the various kinds of transformations which you need to know. Now, going forward, these concepts of transformation are related to the concept of congruence and similarity as well, right? This we'll discuss in subsequent lessons as well. Thank you so much. Wonderful teaching you. Happy learning.